Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. By way of introduction, my name is Ahmad Saleh. I'm partner and head of patents and designs, R&D and innovation at Al-Tamimi & Co. law firm. So Al-Tamimi & Company is the largest law firm in the Middle East. We have 17 offices across 9 countries, and we have expansion plan in other countries in the Arab world, particularly in North Africa. We are a multiple practice law firm with more than 350 lawyers and 450 professionals across the Middle East. We have offices, as I mentioned, across the region, and I'm personally based in Dubai. I'm sure that many among you have heard and have maybe visited Dubai in the past. Dubai is very well known for many things, including it has one of the most important and most active financial hubs in the world, and is a very attractive touristic place to many European and Asian residents, and it attracts every year many tourists across the world. Actually, the Dubai's airport is one of the busiest airports in the world. Today, I would like to discuss with you IP rights in the United Arab Emirates in the horizons of Dubai Expo 2020. We are very fortunate in the United Arab Emirates and in Dubai to host the upcoming Expo 2020, which unfortunately, because of the pandemic, COVID situation, it has to be postponed from the last year, which was supposed to take place between October 2020 and March 2021. And it was postponed until later this year. It will start in October 2021, and it will end towards March 2022. So Expo 2020 is taking place in the United Arab Emirates, and it's the first time actually that it takes place in the MENA region. We are extremely excited to this very important event, regrouping more participants from more than 150 countries across the globe. This event is expected to attract between 25 to 100 million visitors during this period. And many of the participants will come with business opportunities in their pocket, or to foster during their visit in Dubai during this period. The theme which has provided or selected by the United Arab Emirates for Expo 2020 is a very interesting theme, and which concerns the entire world and the future of the humanity. And it's about connecting minds for the future. And there are sub-themes which are selected by the various countries, which will be presenting during Expo 2020 around sustainability, mobility, and opportunity. So it's extremely important for enterprises and businesses across the world to know, to have an overview about IP rights in the United Arab Emirates and best practices to prepare their visits or their establishment in terms of businesses, or their participation to Expo 2020 in terms of IP rights. So to start with, before providing some recommended action to be done, let me start first by providing perhaps an overview of the IP system. And just before doing that, it's maybe worthwhile mentioning that Dubai authorities throughout its governments and various governmental pillars are preparing for this very important event, including Dubai Customs, which is providing facilities for participants to come and to participate in this important event. So far, Dubai Customs, and according to information provided by public places or public information, there are already around 752 declarations in terms of custom declarations for Expo 2020 for goods to enter inside the United Arab Emirates valued at around 637 million dirhams. You must divide by around 3.7. And the weight of these goods is around 11.8 tons of goods. So this is a big number, and these are continuing to grow. Let me quickly provide an overview of the IP system in the UAE. So in the UAE, we have our IP laws are issued at the federal level. And in the UAE, just to remind everyone, it's a federalism, a territorial federalism, and it englobes 7 emirates, Dubai, Abu Dhabi, which is the capital of the United Arab Emirates. So Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Sharjah, Ajman, Ras Al Khaimah, Al Quwaim, and Fujairah are the 7 emirates of the United Arab Emirates. So the IP laws are federal laws, and this means that protection by the IP registration systems in the UAE, it covers all the 7 emirates, including Dubai, where Expo 2020 is taking place, and Abu Dhabi and all the other emirates. So we have a trademark law in the United Arab Emirates. We have a patents law. We have an industrial design law, which is the same as the patents law. We have a copyright law, and we have other laws like planned variety law, which is part of the IP ecosystem, legal ecosystem in the United Arab Emirates. I will focus in this overview on trademarks, copyright, and patents and designs, which are mostly relevant to participants and businesses coming to Dubai during this Expo 2020 period. So first of all, the trademark law enables brand owners to register their trademarks inside the country. The trademark registration system is very efficient. The average period to get a trademark registration from the time of filing a trademark application is between 6 and 7 months. And the requirements are to provide a power of attorney in support of the trademark application. Now, the trademark registration system is a single class system, and it follows the NIS classification. I will be very brief in providing the overview of the IP system, just for the purpose of advising perhaps your clients who intend to visit Dubai during this period. And if you have any more further queries, or you need more information on the subject, you can contact me, and I will be providing the contact information at the end of this seminar. So this is the trademark registration system. So between 6 and 7 months, you can get a trademark registration certificate. And this trademark registration certificate will enable you to enforce your trademark rights across the UAE Emirates, including Dubai. Copyright. There is a federal copyright law, and actually the United Arab Emirates is member of the Berne Convention, and the copyright registration system is very efficient as well, and you can have a copyright protection, copyright registration in about 1 month to 2 months from the date of filing your copyright application. And you can, for example, also think about protecting some 3-dimensional trademarks through the copyright registration system. If these 3-dimensional shapes do meet the requirements for copyright protection. Now, knowing even if the UAE is member of the Berne Convention, it's highly recommended to register your copyright in the United Arab Emirates, as in terms of enforcement. If you wish to enforce your rights in case of infringement, in practice, you will need this copyright registration certificate either in front of the administrative authorities in case of administrative enforcement measures are taken, or in front of the courts if judicial measures are taken. Industrial designs, utility models, and patents are provided under a federal law as well, and we have an efficient regime for the protection of these. The time frame to get these registered is normally around 2 years, and we hope that this period will be reduced further, and especially during this period, in order for enterprises to take benefit and register their patent, utility models, and industrial design rights in preparation for the Expo 2020. Now, it's worthwhile mentioning that as we are today in April 2021, and there are perhaps a couple of months left before the beginning of Expo 2020, perhaps it's the right time to consult with your clients who are participating to Expo 2020s, or who have businesses inside the United Arab Emirates, to register their rights as soon as possible. So for trademarks, since it takes around 6 to 8 months to have your registration certificates issued, perhaps your clients should proceed as soon as possible to register their trademarks, as well as to register their copyrights in case they have some work that can be protected through this vehicle. I will explain quickly the enforcement regime in the United Arab Emirates. So in the United Arab Emirates, as for enforcing your intellectual property rights or your client's intellectual property rights, there are administrative measures which can be taken in front of the relevant authorities. In Dubai, for example, the DED, Department of Economic Development, is responsible of the administrative enforcement of intellectual property rights. The DED will want to see registration certificates for them to take action for administratively enforcing the IP rights. For example, an issued trademark registration certificate, or an issued copyright certificate, or an issued industrial design registration certificate. The administrative actions for enforcement are very quick. So normally the DET take action immediately. Within a couple of days, they can raid the counterfeiter and take actions with the destruction of goods. So normally this is the quickest and the most efficient way of enforcing your clients or your IP rights in case of infringement. Now, the other action is customs seizure, and this is, of course, is a very efficient manner as well in order to control counterfeit goods of entering inside the country, in case these are shipped through the ports of Dubai. So And for this, the trademark registration certificates will need to be recorded at customs. And normally, customs have a custom monitoring system to monitor imported goods passing through the ports. In case there are these are counterfeits, and this is only if the trademark registration certificates are registered through the customs authority system. Of course, the second way of bringing counterfeits information to customs is through private monitoring or investigation information, which is either provided by the clients themselves and about information about possible counterfeit shipments coming into Dubai, or through other investigation measures. So the third type of enforcement is civil actions, of course, in front of the courts, and these go through the judicial courts and normally are to seek damages. Now, this is is pretty limited between October 2021 and March 2022. Perhaps it's difficult to prove damages during this period, particularly if the infringement is limited in terms of number of products and territorial scope and business operations or business activities. So perhaps in this case, administrative enforcement actions will make more sense. However, this is always an available forum, and companies can elect to go to the courts for their infringement actions. And the fourth measures are criminal actions. And this is in case of counterfeit or fraudulent items bearing infringing trademarks, for example, or other IP rights, which can potentially lead to the imposition of legal fines and commercial sanctions on the importing entity. And for this, of course, the case needs to be eligible for to be accepted by Dubai police for a criminal action. Now, what are our recommendations in the view of this important event taking place and in view of the IP system in the United Arab Emirates? First thing, as we mentioned, is to register your client's IP rights. A trademark registration, as we said, take between 6 and 8 months in the UAE. So this is not, I believe, too late to proceed with the registrations. And for copyright, it takes around 1 month. So this is another expedite vehicle for the registration of IP rights. And these are requirements in terms of enforcing administratively your client's IP rights in the United Arab Emirates. This is important, as with perhaps between 25 million and 100 million visitors during this period. So it's expected to see some infringement activities taking place either by exhibitors themselves or by established companies or both. And so it's important to have your clients' IP rights registered before that period to be able to take legal actions or administrative actions in case this occur, to preserve and protect your client's interests. So the second measure we recommend is to record the trademark registrations at DED, Department of Economic Development, and to record these at customs as well. The fourth recommended measures is to apply for temporary import license of your products if you intend to participate to Expo 2020. This is important because This will exempt you from customs duties, and it will enable you to re-export to countries of origin your products without custom fees. And also, there will be no approvals required from regulatory bodies such as the Ministry of Health, for example, or the RTA, which is the authority responsible of road and telecommunication. The fourth recommendation, the fourth recommendation is to conduct freedom to operate and clearance searches on the non-infringement of other people's IP rights in the UAE. So this is as you will be bringing, if you participate to Expo 2020, some products, it's important to make sure that these do not infringe on other companies or people's IP rights in the UAE. So it's important to to clear these before entering the UAE territory. These are mainly our recommendations with respect to this important event. And really we are very excited to welcome either you or your clients to Dubai to participate in this extremely important event of Expo 2020, which is a window to the future, a window to the future of innovation, of opportunities, of mobility, of sustainability, and of a growth. And we hope that this event will inaugurate a new chapter in the humanity and the international community life in terms of collaboration to face major humanitarian issues and pandemics such as the one we face and we're continuing to face today. And to be an opportunity for strengthening the international collaboration between all nations together. On this, I would like to wish you a very nice and fruitful World IP Forum, and many thanks to the organizers for this important forum and for this invite, and many thanks for you who have attended my webinar, and I hope you found this useful. And if you have any questions or queries, or you need any further information at any time, please feel free to contact me at the email address which shows to the screen. On this, I wish you a wonderful day.